Welcome in, everybody. I'm Joey, and today we are breaking the unwritten rule of Forza Motorsport, and to do that, we are starting in S-Class at top meme reverse.
Sit rep. Richard Hammond is a
Go on.
So for those of you guys that don't know, there's basically a silent agreement between Forza players online that you're not going to use the GT40 in A or S class, and that's because the car is just too damn good. Everyone hates you if you use it. You're seen as a tryhard, and so I thought, what a perfect opportunity to put this to the test, and let's see what the fun-loving Forza community thinks of me using it in S class. And what do you know? 30 seconds, not even 30 seconds into the race, I'm pole vaulting 30 feet into the air, and just do me a favor. Remember this guy's gamer tag, boom, random sequence of numbers. He might show up just a bit later as I spend 24 hours trying to flip the damn car. Thank you very much, Forza, for the wonderful mechanics there. Eventually I do get it though, back onto the track. Oh, no, into the grass, onto the track. A beautiful display of skill. But we move on because that's just about all that happened at that race. Now, originally my plan was to start every single race from the back, but I kind of forgot that here at Hockenheim. Luckily though, there is a kind soul from the back of the grid that let me know I'm a piece of shit for not starting in the back. And look, it's boom, random sequence of numbers again, and he's in a GT40 himself. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to take that as a message that he's not very happy with me. But he is going to wait and let me on by, so he must have realized he messed up, it was his mistake, and he's going to just let me regain that position until the very next turn. He smashes my ass. I've been rammed in the behind by another man twice now in the same race. Love to see it. Heading down the straight, he is going to have another opportunity to take me out, but it looks like he might just be too far away. Having a look behind, trying to keep it on the track, it looks like I'm just going to squeak by, and that's pretty much how that race ended too. Was able to build a bit of a gap and get away from him. Yas Marina is next, letting all the good folks by except for this Lambo, and look who it is. Boom, random sequence of numbers. So clearly nothing has changed from the last race, and this is going to be probably my favorite race of the video. Probably my favorite race that I've had in a while. We've actually got another GT40 up front, the Japanese guy up here. I'm checking behind me because I know that Lambo is back there somewhere, and it's really having an effect on my driving. In fact, I'm going to totally cut that corner there. Having another look behind, and he's right there now, but what he doesn't know is I'm about to put on a clinic of rammer avoidance, just slamming on the brakes. He's anticipating I'm going to go through the turn. No, it's not going to happen, but clearly he had a really nice bounce off the wall. I'm just going to play with him here as he's somehow only about 50 feet behind me. This one's going to be a little bit tougher to avoid. He's only about 5 feet behind me, so I swerve to the left, brake a little bit early, let him go by, and then I was kind of indecisive. I was like, should I ram him? Should I just let him go by? I ended up just like, you know, choosing something in the middle and flew by him while sideswiping him. Probably not the best decision, but, you know, it's never enough for these rammers because he's going to slow down and try to hit me again. I'm going to fake right, swerve to the left, and he's into the wall.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
Now, you would expect the shame and embarrassment of that fail to keep him from doing it again, but here he comes from about 3 football fields away and smashes himself directly into the wall. You would think 5 years into the game being out that these douchebags would be a little bit better than that, but just simply not the case. It's Forza at the end of the day, and at the end of the race, he actually caught up a little bit, or I slowed down, I guess, a little bit, and just played with him a little bit more. Just letting him know I got 4th place, but it felt like a 1st place. And so we continue on to Sebring. Starting towards the front of the pack, so we're going to let everybody by. We had to dodge and weave a couple of guys there that were edging close to the right side. We've got a suspicious Lamborghini on the right side as well, so we know boom, random sequence of numbers is still in the race, and we've got a straight going into a 90-degree right-hand turn. There's no way he goes for it again. Oh, man. I edited this video. I know what's coming. I'm still laughing. But, oh, this guy's such an idiot. But we're through into 10th place, so we gained a few positions there. I think a couple of guys didn't start, so I was in 16th at the beginning. Grabbed 6 positions, and now we're around turn 5 and heading down the straight. We've got a little Ford versus Ferrari battle here. A couple of Ferraris. We're gonna edge up closer to the first one in yellow. We got an F50 in front of that one that we're gonna go side by side into Sunset Bend, looking for that second board on the left and braking just in between that one and the third. It looks like the F50's got me on the brakes. He's about a car length ahead. The back tire spun a little bit. He gets a little out of shape. I kind of tapped him around there, but I think him kind of spinning those back tires ended up getting him into me, so don't really think that was my fault, but could have been. What is going to be my fault is kind of tapping the rear end of this BMW here. He definitely didn't appreciate that, because I'm going to get around the Ferrari on the right side, braking into the 90-degree right-hander, and the BMW is going to come back and let me know what he thought of me tapping him a little bit through corner 1, which I think is fair. The rubbing and racing continues through Bishop, but coming into Le Mans, I'm going to have that 4th place all to myself. But not before I go a little deep, showcasing that absolute skill that is unmatchable. Unmatchably mediocre is probably how I'd put it. But fast forwarding lap 4, coming through turn 2 again, you just saw 3rd place was in the wall. There's also a back marker over there too. And so that just kind of gifted me 3rd place, and I got the podium. And then we go to Nürburgring, and this was the best overall race of the week. No smashing, no crashing, just some good straight up racing. But I do have to say, I was worried about that police car back there. You see those lights, and it's usually an absolute mess, but it really was a mess anyways, because I gained about 8 positions from 12th to 4th on the first turn, everyone going wide per usual. And now I'm locked in a battle for 3rd place with this pink Viper, someone that obviously just saw the Barbie movie. And then I've got a Ford GT40 teammate who's going to come on over and make me play Lawn Mowing Simulator. And it's not actually a GT40, it's a 2005 GT, so a couple generations of GTs here, going into Ford Curve 2, so it's very fitting. We're going to get a little physical. Rubbing and racing continuing. The GT40 is going to have that superior acceleration down the straight, so we're going to get in front of him, braking just where that asphalt kind of branches off from the road into the barrier, down in the 2nd gear, and then on the power nice and early, trying to catch up to Barbie in that Viper up there, and now dropping into the Schumacher S. The Dodge Viper is actually going to go full into it. Beach day for Barbie. And I'm just going to dip a couple of tires. Lost probably a couple of tenths worth of time on that lap, but nothing too crazy. And then skipping to lap 2, I caught up to our leader. There's about a 10-second gap to 3rd place, so if 1st place and I are to get into a little bit of a battle, I'm not too worried that 3rd is going to catch up. And it looks like we are. 1st place is going to go very, very defensive, basically rubbing up against the wall. So I'm going to move over to the right, kind of hoping to scare him into staying narrow, which he does. Looks like I'm going to get better drive out of turn 1, going into turn 2, almost alongside. I am going to step on the gas a little too early. That's not going to give me a good line out of the turn, but he's going to spin the tires. We're fully alongside each other now, but he's going to get to the turn first and kind of park it right on that apex. Going to slow my momentum down quite a bit and keep the place. So some good defending from him there. Now, it's clear to me I've got the acceleration advantage because I was moving super quickly. Almost kind of caught me by surprise that I could have moved over to the left and possibly gotten that position. I just wasn't able to react in time, and so I'm stuck in 2nd place still. But I did learn some very important information, and that's that I've got that straight line advantage by a long shot. He's got the handling, for sure, but I've got the straight line, so as long as I can hang with him until the final corner, I'll get him on the final straight up to the line. So again, I just need to hang with him here. As long as I'm behind him, I'll be fine. I can make that move on the final straight. Obviously, it'd be ideal if I can get the move done now. I was kind of looking for it around the left-hander there, but he was hugging that inside corner, couldn't see the way around him. So we're on to the second to last straight now, coming along the slight right-hand bend here. He's going to move defensive. I'm going to make the pass with the chicane coming up. He's still on that left side, indicator arrow glowing yellow, so he goes for the dive. Goes way too deep. We're rubbing as we're coming out of the turn. We've got some really great racing. I've got the first place back, but he's going to send it up the middle again. A little bit of contact, pushes me out just a tiny bit wide. He's about 50 feet ahead. I've got that acceleration down the final straight. He goes right, I go left, and we've got the first place. So finally, we got the victory, and you know that means it's time for a nice Miller Lite shoey. Alright, across the pond and over to Silverstone for this one. Gonna let everybody pass, and we've got people that can't even get off the start line clean. This Porsche somehow just like didn't see me over there on the left side going about 2 miles an hour, so made contact with him. This all is what makes me excited for like the driver ratings and the safety ratings. Like, if they can clean up the stupid shit like that, that would be great. I don't know how well they're going to implement that stuff, because Turn 10 has a not so wonderful track record of implementing things, you know, greatly, if I can say that. For example, you know, they just announced that that split screen won't even be in the game, and their excuse was the visual fidelity is too high, which I interpret as corporate speak for the graphics are too good, so we couldn't figure out how to code in split screen. Makes no fucking sense to me. I'm not a coder or a developer. I'm not going to pretend to be, but it seems like something that's been in games since the beginning of time should probably be in the game. As I send it up between two cars, I almost got the sandwich done there. Almost Oreo'd the fuck out of them, but didn't quite work. That would have been an ESPN Sports Center top 10 plays. Would have been #1 for sure, but almost paid off. Didn't quite get it to happen, but yeah, seriously, if they can get these driver ratings to work, that would be amazing. Would solve a lot of our problems. Almost kind of sandwiched a couple of guys there. Went right between the two of them. And then we got a Ferrari up front coming in the last couple corners here. And yeah, I'm just going to get to it before you guys do. I'm a corner cutting piece of shit that should be banned and should never be allowed to post videos to YouTube again about Forza or anything. So there you go. I said it. Feel free to leave angry comments as well. I totally get it. I'm a piece of shit. And yeah, let's continue. So you'll notice a familiar face up here in the Lamborghini. We've got our friend Boom here, and he's actually going to give us a race. We've, you know, kind of mended our relationship, I guess you could say, and we're just going to give it a go and have a good race here. So we're through cops side by side, heading into Maggot's Beckett's now, and I've got ahead. He's going to come back at me, dip a couple tires onto the grass, carried way too much speed into there, dipped into the sand. It's another beach day for him, and we're through Chapel, down the hangar straight, and pointed towards Stowe. And then we'll skip forward just a little bit to lap 3, and I've got second place in sight. So I'm already on the podium in third. Got a little bit of a gap to fourth, about 4 seconds, just over 4. And we're going to try to catch this Ferrari in second. Just came down the Wellington Straight, coming through Brooklands now, and the F50 is going to lose the back end. And honestly, I don't blame him. That's something that I've noticed with the F50 is the back end, the back tires can really get a little squirrely on you. It's happened to me plenty of times, and so I don't really blame him for losing it there. It's going to end up being a second place, and I didn't really have to battle too much for that position, so I will take it. Next up, I'm just going to show you guys the beginning of the Nürburgring Nordschleife here, and there's apparently a golf cart in this race, so that's awesome, and I'm already making contact with them. I'm literally not even on the gas all that much, and that thing weighs just about as much as a feather, so I'm spinning it around without any effort at all, but this was a pretty crazy start to the race. So we've got a Lambo and what was that, an Aston Martin, and we're getting into it, and then there's a Viper up here. We've got a Ferrari off front. I almost get clipped from behind. Coming into the S's now. It looks like the Dodge is doing okay through there, but it's going to get up onto the curb, get onto the grass. We've got a pink Lotus up front that's dipping its tires onto the grass as well. So we're closing that gap down. And this is not a place you want to be going side by side up the hill and over the crest. We're getting up and getting some air too. The Lotus is going to send it up into the barrier. I'm going to look at him as he goes into the barrier, get into the wall myself. And what a mess. What an absolute mess. You want to know what was also a mess? The ending to this race. I bottled the hell out of it. I had third place. And in the last couple corners, I totally gave it away, and I was off the podium. So, yeah, I thought I was good. I am not. Speaking of messes, we're back at Sebring for a 3-lapper, and this one is not clean either. So, lap 1 through turn 1. It's going to be okay. We're going to go up the inside of the BMW and the Mustang. A couple of guys are off on the right side in the grass. The Lambo is going to get spun around. The BMW is going to go flying up the outside into the GT40. We've got a Ferrari up the inside that spins the BMW. The GT40 nearly takes me out. Again, GT40 teammates, like what the hell is going on? I punt a cone and then everything kind of settles down from there. A lot has happened, so the sit rep is I've gained 6 places, I'm up into 6, now up into 5th as I pass the Ferrari. Ferrari is not done yet, he's going to send it up the inside. I'm going to end up clicking his back end as I try to time up the cutback. We've got not a Ferrari, a Ford GT up the inside, or at least looking up the inside, but I'm finally going to get that 5th place back. Down the straight, the GT's acceleration off the charts, as I've said. Now, coming down into the hairpin again, we've got a group of 3, a Viper, a BRZ, and is that a Porsche up front? It looks like, pretty far away, but I'm pretty sure that's a Porsche. So, down the straight with a little left-hand bend. I'm going to look around the Viper. It wasn't quite going to work out. I probably would have just ended up going straight into his back end, so tap the brakes. From what I can tell, the Viper's probably got a handling tune on it, so as we're coming up on Tower, I'm just looking to stay behind him and then hopefully get him once we get onto the straight section. So here we go, around the turn and onto the straight, coming up to Bishop. We're going to get in front of the Viper, grab 4th place, and we can start setting our eyes on 3rd and 2nd. So not only is there a chance for a podium here, but we've also got a chance for a 2nd place. It looks like 1st is just over 6 seconds ahead. That's going to be a stretch, but we are in the Ford GT40, so I'm not putting it totally out, but that is going to be a tough task. So as we're coming down the final straight here, coming into Sunset Bend, looking for that 2nd board on the left side again, break in, and we're nearly going to go into the back of the Porsche. I think I actually did. There was just a bit of lag, but luckily it didn't totally put either of us off, and we're down the straight and not in a barrier, so that is a good thing. It's a drag race though, down to turn 1, still side by side, no one willing to back out yet. Ultimately, it's going to be me who settles back into 4th place. So through turn 1, coming up onto turn 2 now, the battle is on. 2nd place is still up there, even though 3rd and I have been battling it out, so that position's not totally lost. I'm going to use that opportunity with the inside just kind of opening up for me to take that spot. Now we're into 3rd place. We know from the straight bits of the track that that Porsche has a top end, so he's going to be right there. We see his indicator. He's going to make a move up the inside. I really should be covering it off. We all saw what happened earlier in the race with the Ferrari going up the inside. I let it happen again on the last lap. I think this is just a problem of being in the GT40 for so long, is I just assume no one's going to be able to catch me, and so I just stop defending. Something that I'll probably have to get used to once I hop back into my usual cars, but for now, I just got to keep that in mind. Coming up into Tower again, just kind of getting into the back of that Porsche a little earlier, around the right-hander, and it's not great news. That Porsche looks to be building a bit of a gap. It's at about 0.4 of a second, so we're losing a bit of ground, and there's only a few corners to go. I'm gonna gain quite a bit under braking now, so we're right back onto him. Can I get in front of him before we get to the straight? It's not gonna look like I can. That's not a really good place to go for a move. And then we're just going to fast forward it down the straight. He did pull away a little bit into Sunset Bend for the final time. Final lap of the race. Can I find a way around the outside? I'm just not quite going to be able to find the room. 4th place is going to be what I end in. A couple of 4th places this week. And then I just want to end on this last clip. So we're at Le Mans, the Bugatti circuit, and this nice fella here, this German, Freak Daniel, is going to go ahead and ram me off into the sand. And then when we go to rejoin, he's not going to quite make it. He's just going to get stuck in the barrier. And I'd argue that's probably where he belongs. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like. If you want to see more of my content, please subscribe, and I will talk to y'all very soon. Bye, everybody.